Okay, so we are recording it now, and first, do you have any question? Kevin is typing something here, so okay, before I can start with this document here, I need to go through all the points. As you can see here, this is I have a presentation, but do you want the presentation first? Okay, because the presentation will have these materials anyway. Okay, but if you like the presentation, I can give you the presentation, but okay, I can give you the presentation later. Okay, first let's start with this. Okay, Grant, this is a very good question. The whole idea here is that the the project idea is for somebody else to accept it. Okay, so you are selling it. In this assignment 1 and in the assignment 2, you are selling the idea. You are selling yourself actually that you are able to do this project. Normally, in real life, that is what the this presentation and the proposal itself, because these two are linked together. This assignment 1, this presentation, and then the assignment 2, which is the proposal, they are linked together. First, you need to have a project first. That is what the purpose of this assignment is. Okay, so you can have a project. Okay, so your project idea is good enough for you to run and to be successful even for the other module called the final project. Okay, and then in the second assignment, then you put together a more detailed, a much better proposal. Okay, than this one. This is just to show that I've got this project idea. Is it good enough? Okay, to be run as a project. Then you write a proper proposal for it, that where you plan it properly, because that is why this module is called project planning. And then you do in the assignment 3, you do the literature review for this project. So when the final project starts, you are ahead of the game, so you can only think about designing and implementing actually the artifact, rather than trying to start again. Do I have a good project? And then do I need to do some background research, or do I need to write a literature review for it? That was why we changed. Okay, maybe you don't know, but okay, previously how the module was run was that we had a different set of assessments, and then the proposal was in the end as one just piece of work, just the proposal. And then the students actually then went to the project module. Okay, but the first assessment for the project planning was not about your project. Okay, that is in order to make the two modules link together. So we want now you to start the project now and then finish by the end of the project module. Okay, so you have now at least one module and a half, which is, because this is 15 credits and the project module will be 30 credits. So you will have 45 credits divided in 2 modules, but they will run as one, and then you have more time to carry on to do the project. So now you start with this, and then because you know what you're going to build now, by let's say in 15 days, 20 days, you will be already prepared to start the project. So you can start now. You can spend even the Christmas break. You can spend January. So for all those of you that will run the project in semester B, then you can start now, okay, to do all the work, and then you have more time to implement everything. For those of you that are going to do the project in semester C, it's even better, because you have all that time in front of you, okay, to implement things. To, even if you don't know something, and then you have time to study for it. If you are not good, for example, at let's say JavaScript, that you are going to use JavaScript for your web app, then you can study JavaScript. If you want to do mobile app, then you are not, for example, very good at the iPhone platform, okay, the Apple platform, then you can study for it and you can prepare now. So this is what this module is about, in order to give you a good project ahead of the game. Okay, you are planning now. Again, Grant, thank you very much. That's a very good question. This is the project planning module. The starting point of your project will be writing a literature review. So whenever you start that literature review, then that is where your starting point planning the game. Or you can put any dates there. For example, like for semester B dates, you can pretend that you run the project in semester B, and then you can put all the semester B date from January, okay, till end of May, and it doesn't matter, okay, because when the dates of a Gantt chart, okay, just by the Gantt chart by definition, okay, is a working document. So it's not that you put some dates in the Gantt chart and then they are set in stone. The Gantt chart is a live document that changes according to the progress of the project. Okay, if you set up to do, for example, let's say the designs by end of February, and then you finish them then in mid-February, then of course you change the date of the Gantt chart, and then you move on with the other tasks. You don't have to stick to the Gantt chart. So that is the Gantt chart is changes all the time, and that is why the dates that you're going to put there, you just say, for example, okay, am I going to do this project, this final project, in semester B? You're just planning now for the project, for the final project. So if you're going to do semester B, then just carry on with semester B date, considering that your project will end the beginning of May, and then make your final date beginning of May. And then that's it. If you are planning to do it semester C, then you make the date that you start in May and then finish in end of August. Okay, so those dates will not matter at all in the Gantt chart. But we can come to that. The Gantt chart is for the next assignment. It's not for this one. This is about having a project. Now you can see this Word document here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these pages bigger now, because I put them like together because I wanted to see what's in there. Okay, now I'm going to go slide by slide, okay, to animate the slide features. So okay, it is not about animation or anything. I'm not worried about being like the perfect project presentation, because first of all, you're not presenting it. I want to see the information that as if you were going to present it. Okay, if you prepare that presentation that I can go and present it for you somewhere else, then okay, then it is a very good presentation. That is how you should think, in the mindset that I'm going to get your project idea, and I'm going to defend it for you at some other place there. If your presentation allows me to do that, it has got enough information there for me to carry on and say that, okay, Aditi is going to do this project, okay, this way, and then I can be, okay, the lawyer for you in front of somebody else to defend your project idea. Then it is a very good presentation. Okay, Glenn, you are asking the question about the coding. Okay, my understanding is that coding is also required. Okay. Yes, the whole it is. You are asking some very good questions tonight. Thank you. So, if you are an IT student or if you are a computer science student, you are going to produce an artifact. The artifact will change from an IT student to a computer science student, because for IT students we are more actually inclined to see the functionalities in terms of the user experience. Okay, and then for the computer science students, actually we want to see the algorithmic solutions, and then how beautiful the interface might be. It doesn't matter at all. Okay, even just with the basic interface, computer science students actually can build a lot of functionalities there, and we don't worry too much about the interface. For an IT student, okay, then your interface should be something very good. Okay, coding, Glenn, coding is required, okay, because you're going to produce an artifact. It can be a mobile app, it can be a web app, okay, but it will have functionalities that you have to code them. Okay, compared to the computer science route, okay, as I said, for the computer science we are after the algorithmic solutions, okay, but it will be better to for any particular language, okay, for the web apps, okay, it will be HTML, JavaScript, okay. You'll use the jQueries and okay, or you can do everything in PHP and MySQL. PHP, you can do a lot of PHP if you want, or you can do with JavaScript. You can do with or you can use the ASP databases instead of MySQL. I have uploaded a document with project ideas. Okay, I will stop sharing the screen for this. I'll come back to this document, but I want to share now okay, I'll open the project ideas and then so project ideas, okay. The Word document here. The project ideas Word document here. Okay, I found it. Okay, and then I'm going to share it with you in a second. So project ideas here, share. Okay, you can see it now. So project ideas for computer science students and the project ideas for information technology students. And as I say here, for computer science students, okay, computer science students, of course, they can choose these projects, okay, because it depends what you do with it. We are more focused on the algorithmic solutions, okay, rather than on the interface or functionalities such as login or booking something or entering data into a form, because these will be the core functionalities of an IT project. And for example, here, okay, I've given you lots of some ideas about an employee appraisal system. Okay, this can be all web-based. Okay, an HR system doing appraisals, or booking holiday times, claiming to claim hours that the employees have worked. Okay, or a web-based warehouse stock control system, hotel booking system, or mobile-based parking booking system, crime analytics for the police force, okay, for the crime data, or housing association management system. Okay, if you choose one of these and then you get stuck for ideas on the functionalities, then of course you can ask questions and then and we can carry them forward. For the computer science students, okay, these are okay. So so retail sites, okay. We are not worried about you selling something, okay. If you are a computer science student, okay, and then you want to create a web app that does something, okay, an IT student, okay, can focus on like selling something, and then the customers can browse, okay, but these are basic functionalities. For the computer science students, for example, we can actually do this, the virtual mannequin. The virtual mannequin, for example, how the mannequin can be made to take the shape of the customer's body. Okay, so they can try different garments on the body. Okay, they know their parameters of the body, and then they can put the parameters there, and then the mannequin will change according to the. Do we have to use it? Okay, the question is not asked in the correct way, because okay, now this you choose a project now. If you choose a project now, you choose it for the purpose of running this project until the end, and then it will give you the good grade. So you get a grade for this module, and then the work that you are doing for this module will carry over in the other module, that the final project. The question is that do you have to? You don't have to. Okay. You don't have to. Okay. You can change. Okay. Now you can change the project. Okay, for the final project module, but then you don't have to change. That is the okay. You can change only if the project that you are choosing now, okay, is not running well. You are finding it very difficult. It's gonna you think that you're gonna fail the final project if you carry on with this. Okay, that is the only time when you want to change. Okay, one other student asked the question here that okay, as if he's gonna do some assignments for a project that he has no intention to use it for the final project. I think if you don't use this idea for the final project, it will be a waste of time and resources for this module. Okay, when you can carry on with this, and then all this work that you're going to do for this module, and you can carry that over the project module, and then you are in a very good stead to get an excellent grade. I don't know why do you want to waste time and the resources on this module on the project that you have no intention to run it as the final project. So choose a project that is a good one, that you can run it across, especially the students that are doing the project in semester C. Okay, I have no idea why, because you have enough time to create the perfect artifact with all the time. The students are running in semester B. Again, you have the whole year now. You're starting now with the project, and you can move on to create an excellent one. Okay, when you look at the project objective section, but okay, but you haven't let me go into that section yet. Okay, then okay, now I need to change again document here, and then move to the other document. Okay, let's start from there. We will come to that. Okay, so this is the document that explains everything. So, because these are the requirements, okay, so that is the project critique assignment. Okay, that is what the requirement, to do some project background, a list of functional requirements, and then a list of project objectives, then explain the methodology, and then to just you have to identify them. Don't go overboard with this. You have to identify those issues that you might face, and then you will write about them, or about all this in more detail in the proposal. And okay, you evaluate the project idea of another person, which helps you to understand actually that working with somebody else and then looking at his project or her project, then you see, okay, oh, I have a better understanding now of the functionalities, so then I can add into mine this and this and this and this. Okay, so that is the collaboration there. Okay, gives you a better, so especially evaluating another project can give you a much better idea about your own project. So let's start. Project title. The first slide is about the project title, which the title has to be meaningful and revealing. Is that just by looking at the title, I know what you're producing. Okay, and then that goes for even the headings of a report, or when you like section headings. Okay, if you write a report, the title of the report and the section headings in themselves, they have to be very descriptive in what you are writing inside. For example, students write about, or they tend to write about, they are asked to do some background research, and they call the research background research. Background research, is that a good title? Background research on what? Okay, you can say, for example, the research into this and this and this and this. Okay, whatever topic you are researching, but not just background research. Okay, anyway, for the title, this is a skill in itself, but don't waste too much time now, okay? Because you're not going to judge. Your project is not going to be judged on the title at this point, okay? And then you're not going to lose any marks for this. You come up with something and then leave it, and then I'll give you a better idea when I look at the presentation for this assignment. Then I'll give you. It is better if you use this title, okay, as your project title. Okay, and then I am sharing. Can you others? Okay. Ebenezer, I don't know. Maybe you have to go. Okay, Ebenezer, maybe you have to go off and then come back in. Okay, or maybe it is your, maybe you are using VPN, I don't know. Okay, good. Thank you for the feedback. Okay, so you all can see. I had a student yesterday that he couldn't see the document on the screen, and what he did, and then he came off the session and then came back in again, and then actually everything worked. Okay, so this is the okay, I'm going to the background here. The project background. It is you start with a short background of the industry. Okay, start general, introduce, okay, the environment, okay, the backdrop that your project is against this type of environment, and then either if it is for a business, then you describe the business, okay, or if it is an organization like a charity or government, or if it is a project that you are creating yourself, it's your project idea, and then you just have in mind like a market share, for example. You have in mind an audience, for example. You can say that I'm going to actually do a project to create a mobile application, let's say as a like fitness tracker, okay. But then you have in mind people that actually who will be interested in this project, what they want, okay, from this artifact that you're going to create. Okay, so based on keeping your audience in mind, then gives you actually a very good list of the artifacts that you will need to implement in the a good list of the functionality that you need to implement in the artifact. Okay, so now I believe that you just started to make a difference now. They make the difference between the functionalities and the project objective. See. The functionalities of the artifact will be what that system can do, okay, for that user. The user, okay, you are not producing anything for yourself. You have to be you have to wear the hat of the developer, and then work with the mindset that actually somebody else is asking, okay, any member of the public, for example, let's say people that want a fitness tracker. Okay, to be easy to use, and then so they can use it when they go to the gym or they go to the park. So those people, what do they want from that artifact? So those are the functionalities, okay, of the system. And then the project objectives that you see in slide 4 here, project objectives, then when you take the functionalities from the client, in this case the client will be actually that imaginary audience that you have in mind, those people that like to actually have a fitness tracker on their mobile phone to check how many kilometers they have run, or how many miles, and or how many paces have they walked, how many calories they have burned. Okay, maybe to check other things as well. So those are the functionalities. The project objectives is that with these functionalities, you go home, sit on your desk, and then now think, okay then, I have now to create this artifact with these functionalities. How am I going to do it? Okay, where do I start? Okay, so you divide that type of work now, that the work ahead of you, okay, you divide it into several milestones, and these are the project objectives. And you can say that, okay, then by this date, I must have finished this, okay, these 2 or 3 functionalities, okay, and then, or by this date, I must have finished this task here. You have 5 to 7 big objectives, big milestones, okay, between your starting point and the finish line. Okay, that is how you organize yourself, your work. So these are your objectives. Okay, if you work for a client, for example, if a client approaches you and they say that we want a web app that does this and this and this, okay, so you are the developer. So the client comes up with functional requirements. Now, you go home and then you organize yourself, and then you give yourself some objectives now, okay, in order to manage all the work. The client doesn't even care about your objectives. Okay, all they want is an artifact that can have a certain number of functionalities that can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 things. Okay, objectives are for you how to do that work. Okay, that is why they are called SMART criteria. Just bear in mind now that when you go to the objectives and then you create a SMART objective, I don't need to see the word SMART there at all. Okay, if the objective is SMART, okay, it is because it follows some SMART criteria, not because you say that I'm going to create now some SMART objectives. No, the objective is or is not SMART. It is actually then considered or then evaluated by the person who is looking at your presentation or is looking at your objectives. Okay, I have a presentation. Research objectives. You can have one research. Okay, you don't have to have 5 or 6 objectives, research objectives. Your research is just one piece of work, that is your assignment 3 in this case. That is why I said that it doesn't make sense for you to change project if you are starting now, because the research for it, you're going to do it now, okay, in this assignment. So if you want to do it again for another project, then that's fine. Okay, we are not saying that you can't change the project, but we are advising you against changing the project if it is a good one now that you can finish it until the end of the other module. Okay, I promise you that by the end of this session here, I'll show you examples of objectives. Okay, so, but first, functional requirements is that what the artifact will do. Okay, you might want to do some background research on this, okay, to have a better understanding of what is required. What is background research? You're going to look into similar work that has been done before. Let's say, I mentioned the fitness tracker. Okay, you are not the first person in the world, you're not the first developer in the world that you're going to build a fitness tracker. If you want to build one that is actually better than the others, you have to look at how the others actually have done it, and then look at the most, actually the most common functionalities that people look for, okay, in a fitness tracker. You can get even results of primary research that have been done before, which in this case is secondary research for you, some studies that people have done as what people want from a fitness tracker. So that is a lot of background research that you can do in order to actually understand all the functionalities that you can build in the system that you have thought about. Okay, so then, as I said, after you come up with a list of functionalities, that it doesn't, at this point, it doesn't have to be like a full list, okay, an exhaustive list of functionalities. If you forget something now, it doesn't matter, because then for the proposal, you'll come back with a better list of functionality. The proposal will be this. At this point in time, this is only the project idea. And then it will be fully blown, okay, when you write the proposal. That's why I wanted you to have a little experience first, how to organize your project idea. And then, based on this assignment 1, you can do a better proposal, okay, for assignment 2. At this point in time, Christian, you don't need a Gantt chart, but because you have a Gantt chart in mind for the proposal, then I can tell you that how the project planning works. Project planning starts with the project objectives. So the first thing you do is you devise 5 to 7 project objectives for yourself. As in, by this date, I'm going to finish this. By this date, I'm going to be able to finish this and this and this. By this date, so organize it in 5 to 7 objectives, okay, the whole work that you need to do. These objectives span across the whole project period, okay, they cover the whole project period. And then the planning work is that after you have, for example, a very good idea what you're going to build now, you have the objectives, okay, you have the functionalities, then assignment 2 is about the proposal, which is actually full project planning. The project planning ends with the proposal. Okay. Then you have after the objectives. Then you said, okay, then divide now, because they are big milestones, the project objectives. You divide now the project objectives into a list of tasks. Okay, that should be, okay, up to 20, but not more than 25. Okay, if it has 18, it's good. If it has 20, 22, 23, but not more than 25, because if you have 25 tasks, like if you have 35 tasks in a project, either you have gone too granular, and then you are making actually meaningless tasks, okay, very small, that can be done in 1 hour, okay, or you have a bigger project that you can actually finish. Okay, so that is why you have to have, okay, from those objectives, you expand them into about 20 tasks, 20, 22, okay, and then you have a task list for the project. From that task list now, based on the timescales of the objectives, then you assign deadlines or time. You assign time to each task. Okay, this task will start here and will finish at that point. We'll start here and we'll finish by this date. Okay, each task. By assigning time to each task, then you have a project schedule. But the project schedule is just a list of tasks in Excel, for example, and then it doesn't tell you the whole truth. Okay, it is a good thing, but it doesn't tell you. It cannot be used as the final project management tool. Okay, the project schedule, because it's not graphical. When you start creating the Gantt chart out of the project schedule, which makes it a doddle to create the Gantt chart. If you have the project schedule, then the Gantt chart is actually a doddle. Then you start looking at the tasks in a graphical way. Then you realize actually that why am I actually waiting for task 1 to start task 2? They're not dependent, so then I can do them in parallel. Okay, so then the Gantt chart will be slightly different from actually the project schedule that you actually created in the beginning, because you'll change the dates. Okay, you put sometimes some tasks together that the tasks that run in parallel, and then you say that, okay, then Now with the Gantt chart, I have a full project plan and I can start the work now. Okay, so you understand now then okay, how the project planning works. The project planning first starts with, based on the functionalities, you then devise your own objectives, okay, your own milestones from the beginning to the end. Then you divide those milestones into tasks, okay, smaller tasks, and then the smaller tasks then actually are assigned time, and then you have a project schedule. From the project schedule, then you create the Gantt chart. That is, okay, the process of planning, okay, the whole thing. This actually is part of the Prince 2 management course created by the UK government. And you know that if you have a Prince 2 qualification, then you can work with government project. Prince 2 is not the best management qualification in the world, but it works with our government here in the UK. Okay, Matthew, you are saying that you are assuming that tasks under each objectives get included in the PowerPoint. Okay. No, at this point, I'm not looking for a full list of tasks. At this point, I'm only looking for the objectives. Okay, because the task list will be part of the appendix in the proposal. Okay, don't get too much carried away now. You know, at this point, your main focus will be on the functionalities. Do you have a project that you can do and you can run from now until the end of the module called the final project? That is your focus now. Do I have a project that I can run? And then you know if a project is good or not. You can only judge it by the functionalities, what the artifact will do. Okay. In order to do that, you have to actually, can you divide yourself into two people? Because that is where the confusion comes from. Because you are the same person, you are thinking about the project, you are thinking about functionalities, you are developing it, and it looks like you are doing it for yourself. No. You have to wear two hats. When you think about the functionalities, think like the user, your client. Okay, and then you are making requests to a developer that I want an artifact, I want a mobile app or a web app or anything, or a website, or any type of artifact, or if it is, for example, if you are doing networking, if you like networking, you can do a networking project, or if you like cybersecurity, you can do, for example, some students, for example, are doing intrusion detection systems, and okay, they are creating the test bed for them. Okay, using for a good test bed can be very cheap using Raspberry Pis, and then you can work with them in order to test the intrusion detection system, and then create a small network. Okay, with the laptop, with the desktop, or you can use a virtual environment. You can have a server. You can have then a Kali Linux as an attacking system. You can have a server as a victim. You can have and then a Windows machine, or any other machine or another Ubuntu machine that is running the intrusion detection system, running the firewall. Okay, so it depends what you want to do. There are so many things you can do, but at this point in time, you have to think about what the system will do. Okay, and then if you have a good task list, then you know that you have a project. Yes, Kevin, yeah, the Gantt chart is suitable. Okay, because the interdependence between tasks. Okay, that's very good. Thank you. Okay, Christian, you asked a question about functional requirements. Yes, the functional requirements are divided into two categories. First, so for example, if you ask any client, okay, what do you want from this system that okay, you are commissioning? Okay, they will say that okay, then I would like, okay, some core functionalities to be there. Okay, and then the core functionalities will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, whatever they consider core, And then you have either advanced functionalities or the desired functionalities. Now, remember that the core functionalities will only get you a pass or up to the grade of 50% when you do the project. Okay? When you develop the artifact, core functionalities are only that you will not fail. Okay? If you are able to do the artifacts, the artifact with core functionalities. And that is the good thing, because the moment that you have your core functionalities implemented, you have a peace of mind that you say that, okay then, from this point, no matter what I do, even if I stop now, I will not fail the project. And that is a very good point, because it gives you a peace of mind. And then from that on, you work without any worry. Okay, you don't have, you are not stressed. Okay, oh my God, we're going to do, I'm going to fail the project now. Okay, because you know that at this point on, you are not going to fail. Then it will be a period of like stress-free, and then you can actually do everything that that you need to do. Okay, with that mindset. Okay, Aditi is asking how many tasks under each objective would be ideal. Again, you're jumping. Okay, let's talk about this assignment. Okay, then each objectives will be divided. Okay, if you have 7 objectives, then you can't divide an objective in more than 3 tasks, because then you'll have 21 tasks, and then that's it. If you have 5 objectives, the good number is 5, but some people go overboard, and then that's why I stopped it at 7. 5, 6. Then if you have 6 objectives, then some of them will have 3 tasks, will be divided into 3. Some of them will be divided into 4. Okay, that is how you do it. No, 5 core and 1 desired. No, it is those advanced functionalities. Don't call them desirable. They are advanced functionalities. They are the functionalities that are going to get you from 60% to 85%. Okay, so with just 1 functionality, that is a complex functionality, then you're not hoping for too good a grade. Okay, so we are talking about like 5 to 6 core functionalities and another 5 to 6 advanced functionalities. Okay, in the system. Okay, let's finish this, and then we can come back to the functionalities, because I think you need to have a better understanding of them. Okay, the project methodology. Here you talk about how you're going to run the literature review, the secondary search. Are you going to do any primary search? And then here you talk about the project implementation methodology. That I have put here waterfall or agile as just examples, but there are other methodologies there as well. So it's not only waterfall and agile that you can use. Okay, but whichever you're using, just mention it there that you are going to use this methodology because it suits the project because of this reason. Okay, so and then for slide 6, then you identify the legal issues that you might face, social, especially if social issues are, for example, depending on what you're going to build. Okay. For example, are you going to? But sometimes they are intertwined. For example, is your system actually disadvantaging, for example, the blind people, actually the visually impaired? Can they use it, or are you just, or do you have in mind only a certain section of the user market? Okay, or is it going to create social issues, for example, like for applications, for example, for young people, Okay, it depends. I can't actually speculate now about your projects. Okay, about the social issues. Then you have to do some research about the social aspects of any application that you want to do. But professional issues are mostly about, are you actually using other people's work, okay, and then you are presenting it as yours, okay. That is one of the biggest professional issues, okay, that you face. Ethical issues are mostly got to do with the use of human participants if you do primary research. Primary research, especially if you are building something for a target audience, how would you know that this is what they want and then they will like it? Because, okay, if you are a developer and then you create an artifact, you want it to be successful. Okay, you can either sell it for 99 pence, and then if you sell it to 1 million people for 99 pence, then you just made almost £1 million. Or if you're going to give it out for free, but then actually you build on the usage of it, and then you can link it to adverts as well. And that is how you're going to sell it. If it takes off and it becomes huge, then any company would want to buy your artifact, if it is, for example, a mobile app, because so many people are using it. So then it becomes a point of advertising, a very good advertising point. Okay, so that is then you know that the artifact will be successful only if you ask your audience. So and that is primary research. So if you intend to do primary research, to ask the audience about how do they find your, if you are an IT student, then you are worried about the ease of use, and then the interface, the user experience. Okay, so if you're worried about user experience, then how do you know if you don't ask the user? If you ask the users, then if you do a focus group or you do a questionnaire, for example, then you are using human participants. At that point, you have an ethical issue that you have to ask for ethical permission from the committee here at university to run that type of primary research, because then they don't know what you're going to ask them. Because you are using human participants, it doesn't mean that you have issues. But the university will have an issue with that, because they don't know what you're going to do. If you tell them that actually I'm going to create a focus group, okay, with 10 people, okay, using my app, okay, after it is done as a prototype, they're going to use it and test it, because I want to see, and then I want to get feedback from them. How easy is it to use? Does it do what they want it to do? Okay, and then if all the questions that you're going to ask are only about the artifact, and then you don't intend to ask them the name, surname, address, telephone number, date of birth, okay, how many pets they have, what their names are, and then how many kids they have when they were born, how many bank accounts they have, and then okay, can you give me the PIN codes as well? So that is okay. That's what university would want to hear from you about the ethical side of it. They want to see what question you're going to ask, and then are they personal questions. So if you don't have any personal questions, the university will say, okay, then you can carry on to do the primary research, because we don't have any problem with it. Okay, and then you have the critique towards another project idea from one of your mates. Okay, I have been detailed here as much as I could, okay, in order to avoid confusion here. So the critique will focus on their functional requirements. You can see now how the functional requirements are important. Okay, and then so have they devised good objectives? You see those objectives and say that, okay then, but you haven't put any dates on them, and they are not specific enough. And then okay, remember that the last objective means that if you complete the last objective, you have finished your project. So if you say that your last objective is in 1 month time, then okay then. So after 1 month, what we're gonna do? You're gonna go on holiday. So that is how you should think about criticizing somebody else's project, and that is why I paired you with. No, I wanted you to be paired with somebody else. Anyway, let me know if you can't be paired with somebody. Okay, under slide 6. Okay, the bias. Yeah, it comes under slide 6. Okay, so let's say if you. Okay, then you're going to make it unbiased. That is how you're going to avoid that. But if you identify that from the beginning, then you know what you are up against, and then during the design implementation of it, then you're going to care about it. So at this point, Kevin, that is a very good one. So then you can identify it here. Then one of the issues, okay, here is about the algorithm bias, and then, okay, and that is how it is going. I'm going to tackle it in when I start designing and implementing the artifact. And then you have addressed it, okay, and then you're going to solve that later. But at this point in time, you know about it. If they see it or not, it doesn't matter, because if you want, I believe that they want to see it because it will make their project better. It is not going to affect their grade at all. It's not going to affect your grade if somebody else criticizes your project. So you are only improving somebody else's project. Okay, for example, James, let's say that you are paired with Kevin, and then you say, for example, okay, then you say that the project objectives were not well devised because they lack this and this and this. Okay, but that is your contribution to. You can tell Kevin that this is what is wrong with project objectives, but that will not diminish at all the work that Kevin has done. Okay, because that is your opinion, and that's how you think about it. Kevin thinks differently, but if he wants to take it into consideration, it's fine. If he doesn't want to, again, that's fine, but it will not affect their grade. So that is why I made it that it is not affecting anybody else's grade, so that you can be honest in the evaluation of the other person's idea. Okay, because then that is how you benefit from it. And then you have to be, if somebody else criticizes your project and gives you some very good advice, you have to be grateful for it and not say, for example, that oh, he hates me now because he criticized my project. Okay, a third person is able to look into your project in a much better way than yourself, because that is your baby and you don't want to criticize it. This is my project, don't touch it. Okay, but it is a good idea to involve other people. Yes. Okay. So now you understand here from this slide. It is very actually detailed here, the explanation. So I believe you don't need me to read it. Okay. So you just criticize it based. Or you can say it is very good. You don't have to criticize it. Well, I mean, critique means that it is an evaluation of that. So you can say that the functional requirements and the project objectives actually were excellently devised, actually, but and you can say, but the description of the methodology was not very clear, okay, because it lacked explanation about this and this and this. So it doesn't have to be, okay, all critique and all critique. And you can evaluate it by saying even how good it is. Okay, but it doesn't mean that if it is rubbish, it is rubbish. You don't say it is good, yeah. Okay, so this is the guidance about it is not a huge assignment. So I don't want you to get worried. What I am worried about is that the understanding of the mindset that you're going to work in. You have to work in the mindset that at this point, that when you talk about the functionalities, you have to think about the audience. Yeah, no problem. Yes, write it down. Okay, about the name of the person, yes. Okay, because then I know who you are, which project you are criticizing. Okay, and they say that this project idea is from this student, and then the project is about this. Okay, what I then considered as very good achievement for this project was, for example, that the functionalities were very well listed and described. Okay, but there is still work to do on the objectives because they were not fully described, or they were not actually didn't follow the SMART criteria. The methodology, for example, was very well explained and detailed, but issues, for example, the legal, the LSEP issues were not actually identified, and then it looks like that, for example, that Gani does not have a full understanding of the ethical issues because it didn't mention there the use of human participants for primary research. So, okay, that is how you talk about it. Okay, Grant, okay, no problem. Okay, you can go now. Okay, I understand that you all have other commitments as well. Yeah. Kevin, okay, I just answered that because Xavier asked that question about. No, you can give not student ID. You can give their name, not student ID. Okay, I by tomorrow evening, okay, I can upload a PowerPoint sample on StudyNet so you can view it. Okay, Sarush? Richard, you are typing something? Okay. So I would like to bring the PowerPoint here okay. In the meantime that Richard is typing, I'm going to stop sharing and then I'm going to bring the PowerPoint here. Where is the PowerPoint? Apparently, okay, it should be up here in order for it to be shared. Okay. So if this application does not recognize open applications until they are fully okay. So I believe you have seen this, yeah? Can you see this? Yes, you can. Yes, okay. Okay, Christian, that's very good. Thank you. Okay, so okay, I have if you see here that I have provided a slide here, but then I have provided explanations here about the slide. So I want to go to some of the so the main points of the primary search. Primary search is that is when you do questionnaires or focus groups or you do interviews. That is primary search. And then if you are planning to do primary search, you have to get ethics approval from the ethics committee. And then I explain here secondary search. Okay, this PowerPoint does not do what I wanted it to do. So I'm going to close it now, and I'm going to share another PowerPoint here that because you asked a very good question, and I want to show it in the PowerPoint presentation. So proposal. Okay, lesson 2. Okay, here. This is on StudyNet. Okay, but what is important here is I want to explain here that, okay, so this is the project. The project is the project scope, which is the functionalities. Okay, what what the artifact will do, and then you have to have enough functionalities to build that justify 300 hours of work, and then it is the project cost. So okay, let's project proposal. Okay, here, that is where I am. Can you see it now? Yes. Okay. Yes. Good. Okay, so I can see some excellent communication between the students here, and that is, of course, because you come from the professional world, and then okay, you know how to communicate with each other. Okay, but communication skills is something that we want to instill into the campus students here, the 18, 19 years old actually, who most of them have not worked at all in any company. Okay, so you can see now this slide here that the project is the scope, the functionalities, and then the cost, and then the time that you need to build it. In this case, your project does not cost at all; it's for free. Okay, so there are no incurred costs unless you want to buy, for example, the Raspberry Pi or anything. Okay, but that is minimal cost. Okay, so the project will not fail because of the cost issues. Okay, you may consider it failed because of the time issues. If it is over time, then every project is considered a fail in real life. So then the time that you have there is limited. Okay, the deadline is the deadline. You have to hand it in the project for the final project module. So you have to get the scope right. If your scope, okay, is bigger than you can chew, then we'll tell you. Okay, don't worry about it. And even if you actually bite more than you can chew, and in the end you intended to do 25 functionalities, but you did only 15, you are not going to get penalized for it because you are ambitious, and then we like people that are ambitious. And then we know that, okay, then you had enough time to do 15, you did 15, you can get excellent marks. So do not think that because you actually did not do all the functionalities that oh my god, now okay, they're going to deduct marks from me. You don't know. If you planned 5 and you did only 1, of course you're going to deduct marks. But if you planned 20 and you did 15, then those 15 that you did are excellent, then we are happy with that. So don't worry. Okay, so so the plan, okay, this is you can read it yourself. Okay, here I have given you some writing examples here to how to write the proposal. But in the proposal, you will have to you have to recognize the related work on the topic of your project. So you do some background research and you realize actually that other people have done the same. So you are not reinventing the wheel. Okay, that is, you do not try to actually do some functionality that has already been prepared by somebody else. And you can, if the module is already created, then you can actually say that okay, then I'm going to import that module into my project, okay, because it helps me to do some other things as well. So you acknowledge existing work, okay, and then you demonstrate some knowledge of the problem and the solution as well by doing some study on the related work on that topic. Okay, so for example, how can you talk about related work? Like certain solution techniques have been successfully applied to the virtual fitting room. Okay, I took as an example here the virtual fitting room, which is the virtual mannequin. Okay, so and then one virtual mannequin that you can look at is, for example, is done from QVC. Okay, and then you can say, for example, that okay, then these include the QVC virtual fitting room. Okay, and then it was in BBC News because BBC News did something. They wrote an article about the the virtual fitting room provided by the QVC online shop. Okay, and then you can say that, however, this solution does not fully address the issues with fitting, and it is only, okay, and then you can explain the problem with it, and then you say, for example, that how you can address this in your actually artifact that you're going to create. Let's suppose that you're going to create this, you're going to develop this idea, this virtual mannequin for a virtual fitting room. Okay, so outlining solutions. It is about functionalities. What is going to solve the problem? So the system functionalities, that is what you get from the client. Okay, these are client requirements. They become system functionalities. The client says, I want a system from you that does this, 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 and this, and this. And then they create a list of what they want from you. Okay, and then in the end, that is how the success is measured. It is measured against those client requirements. Have you done what the client wants? Or did you go home and then you did something else that was... Okay, Travis, you don't need to reduce the functionalities. Okay, so okay, anyway, I'll have a look. I got your email. I will have a look at what yours are, and then I'll tell you if actually they are enough, or they are too many, or if they are too little. Okay, so project objectives, as I said, this, okay, after you get the functionality right, then this is where your project planning starts. Okay, you can say, here you say, okay then, I know what I need to build. Okay, now where do I start? Okay, and then you go home, you sit on your desk, and then you set aside some project objectives, and you say that the goal is to build the artifact. Okay, but that's a mouthful, because okay, go on and build it then. You can build it in 1 hour. Okay, so that's the goal, to build this. And then you start divide that into actually 5 to 7 milestones. Okay, then I'm going to, between now and then let's say end of October, I'm going to do this. And then for the whole month of December, of November, I'm going to concentrate on this. And then for the first 2 weeks of December, I'm going to concentrate on this. Okay, and then so you have a 2 month, 3 months plan. Make a 3 months plan, because that is how long your project is. Okay, because your project is a 3 month module, then your plan will be a 3 months plan. And then do you have a plan B? What is your plan B? Your plan B is that do you have any other idea in mind if this one fails actually miserably? Okay, and then you start this and you understand, actually I have actually gone and then planned the wrong project. Okay, but then I'm going to abandon this now because I have a better idea as a plan B. Okay, that it is the only time when you have to change the project, because otherwise you don't change it, because then you have wasted 3 months of this module, which you could have done a lot of work. And then here I explain the referencing, how you reference everything. Okay, and then here I explain the writing styles. Okay, these are actually very self-explanatory. Okay, that is, okay, this is in the on StudyNet. So I don't want to go through this and read every slide here, because this is on StudyNet. But it talks about the success and the, okay. Now, so what do you have to concentrate on now? First, your mindset. Your mindset is very, very important. Okay, let's stop sharing this and then bring up again that document where, okay, this one here. So the mindset is that whatever project you have thought about, you have to come up with a list of functionalities that okay, suit your pathway. If you are IT, then please bear in mind that if you plan to do login, okay, just a simple login is nothing. Okay, a login function takes two parameters, okay, a username and a password, and then it sends them to the database for check, and then they come back actually that correct, and then the user logs in. What we want to see there is that what if I forget my password? Am I going to then say that, okay, then I can't log in now? Okay, so if you implement a password change facility there, a forgotten password, and then you make the user actually click on that password, forgot password link, and then then they provide the email address that they have registered with the system, and then the system sends them a link via email, okay, to see that actually are you who you say you are, because anybody can provide that, can say that I forgot my password there. Give me my password. But by sending the link to the email, then you make sure that okay, you say you are who you say you are, because then only you have access to that email. And if you respond through the email, then it is fine. So that functionality is an advanced functionality of login. Okay, or from a security point of view, if I try, for example, too many times, okay, in some way I stole your username. Of course, I cannot steal your password because I couldn't see it. And then I go onto the system, okay, to log in as you, and I try too many times, okay, the password. What happens? If nothing happens, it means that you have not protected it against the brute force attacks. If you make the system that it locks the user out after 5 attempts, then you have done a good job there. So you have cared about one type of attack, you have cared about the security, okay, and then the system will lock it out. The second thing, search function. Travis, are you asking for this assignment 1? Because I'm not talking about, I'm talking in general here, because I need you to have a full picture, and then you're going to write a better assignments. I'm not talking about this one here. That is a mindset. That in this PowerPoint here, I only want a list of functionalities. Okay, you can write it in a very efficient way. Say, for example, the login functionality with forgotten password facility. Okay, and then just that. Okay, or you can say that login functionality with forgotten password facility and brute force attack protection. And it is very specific, well described, okay, because it shows everything. Then I know now what you're going to build. Okay, so you don't have to go overboard, okay, in this assignment. Again, before I say anything else, don't go overboard with words, okay, because there's a limited amount of words that you have available there. Okay, just bear in mind that these here are guidance. I put 250 words here, but if you write 300, I'm not going to shoot at you. Okay, I'll do nothing. I'll just consider that because, but I wrote 250 here, so you don't write 2,500. But don't think that, oh my God, I've written here 2,220 words, and Gani said 200 here. No, these are guidance. Okay, so that is how much I am expecting. Okay, so this is between 250 and 300 words. Okay, this is between 200 and 250 words. Okay, again, the project background description is between 200 and 250 words. Okay, I need to give you some guidance how much words are expected, so then you don't go overboard. But if you go over it, it's not the end of the world. Okay, now for all of you to bear in mind that, okay, a search functionality. If you have in your system a search functionality, can be a simple search, it can be a very complex search functionality. It can be a search functionality that can give you just a pass, or you can build a search functionality that can actually give you outstanding mark for that part of the work. Okay, because it depends on how you search. Okay, so I remember one of the students, okay, did a login functionality that they had to remember a kind of a username. Okay, they had to remember that username, okay, to log into the system, the public. Okay, it was for the public. And I said, okay then, if they have forgotten that username that you generate there, it was a generated username there for them, and then they had to use it with the password. I said, when they call in, because the system was built in a way that okay, they register, and then somebody calls. If somebody calls, then the system would ask for that username. And I said, what if they have forgotten that username? In 6 months' time, I can't remember what username I registered with this company. And if I call in, and then you ask me the username, I said, I can't remember. And the guy said that, okay, then the system will not be able to do anything, because the guy that is receiving the call is not going to be able to see their account. Well, I don't think that is a good implementation of the work then, okay? Because if you have a problem with your mobile phone, and then you call your provider there, okay, like Vodafone or wherever you are there, okay, whatever your mobile phone provider is, okay, if you call them and then you say that, do you know your username? No. Okay, then bye bye. That's not a good implementation of. So then the system has to have some degree of flexibility, especially in the search functionality, that I can search by the. If it is about products, I can search by catalog, I can number, I can search by product name, I can search by actually features, categories, okay? And then based on what word I put there, then the system will display a different set of products or a different product. Okay, so even the search functionality can be very complex. Okay, so I mentioned two, so you understand now about the others, how you can make them complex enough. Okay, I don't have anything else to say at the moment. Okay, if you have any questions, are you describing our functionalities? Okay, when you say login, a login is a basic functionality. You can keep it as basic, but then you don't expect that functionality to give you the grades. Okay, then you have to have other functionalities that yes, similar systems means that any other work that has been done. Okay, in that aspect. For example, if you are building a web app that does something, are there other web apps that do the same thing but in a different way? Okay, and then you can say, for example, that okay, there are 3 other, for example, apps that actually address these requirements, actually, but they do this in a different way, and then this project is intended to create a similar app, but with some other functionalities, okay, that okay, based on the research, okay, that is what the users will need. Okay, so that is. So that is what I wanted to say today to you. So you have now a better understanding of what is required from this project critique. And then I wanted to expand on what is required actually for even the proposal. And you are going to write a literature review as well in assignment 3. And the literature review is one aspect of the project that needs to be researched. The second one, yes, okay, let me share I need to open, okay, a new slide, because otherwise, okay, I can't share the thing. So let's have a look at the project planning module. Project planning. And okay, I'll stop sharing now, and I'll share the window that the application window that says project planning. Okay, here, this one here. Okay, you can see now the project planning page. Let's go have a look at the units here. Okay, in unit 1 has got all these, okay, about, this is the project idea, and then this is what I showed you as project ideas, and the second one is here. Everything about, okay, do you recognize now the okay, the whole PowerPoint, okay, with comment as well, is here, and the referencing and the okay. But if you want it as a PowerPoint, I can actually put it here, and then I'm going to put it now. I'm going to upload it. Okay, if you want it as a PowerPoint. Okay, I'm going to put it here, and file. Okay, so I'm going to do it now so you know that it is there, because I did it in front of you. Okay, so project planning. Okay, the proposal, I think. Lesson 2, that is what it is, lesson 2. Okay, course files, upload, and it is here now. Okay, so I'm going to save it, and you can download it even as a presentation as well. Yes. Okay, the reason is because all the online students, or if not all, at least 99.99%, all of you have full-time jobs, and then during the week you are, okay, up to your throat with work. So initially it was on the 18th, on Friday, but then I extended it onto Sunday, so you can dedicate the Saturday and Sunday to your assignment work. Okay, some of you have got 2 modules running at the same time, the computer system security and this one, but you can divide it, and you can do some work on Saturday, and for the other module some work on Sunday. But I gave you 48 hours for that because, okay, because I think you need it. And Friday is not a good evening to actually hand in work. Okay, so sample projects. Sample projects are on. Sample projects are here. Where are they? Is it under units? here at the bottom, here you have projects here. You have 6 projects available here that Gavis, at this point in time, you are not required to turn it into reality. And then your project is not going to be in 1 week. So we're talking about starting the project now and then finish it by the end of the other module, the project planning module. So do not think about it as okay. Travis, to reference something that has been referenced in another article, okay, there is a website that okay, Harvard referencing specifies even that. If you look at Harvard referencing style, then it will show. It's not difficult. Okay, you can say in. Okay. You can say mentioned in, okay, and then you put even the other reference there. Okay, this is the first one, so there are no other sessions. Sasha, this is the first one. Many people are writing. Guys, we have to stop at some point. It has been from the other courses. Which course? From the computer system security. Okay. They should be. We did one yesterday. And should be there. Okay, I can check now. Okay, thank you, Mina. Okay, computer system security. Okay. You can see this now, yeah? Okay, good. Units, no, conferences. It is under conferences, and then it is here. So this link here works. Okay, this one here. Okay, no, but go to conferences, because then I'll have to get the link here. At the moment they are here because actually I was planning them to do them on Skype. Okay, that's why I put that here there. But they are under conferences. Okay, and then you can have the session here. Okay, and you can hopefully because I don't want to delete it. Okay, so it is under conferences, and then you can access it here. For this one here, there was only one student there, so there was nothing to register. Okay, so okay, can we call it a day? What do you think? Okay, no problem at all. Okay, guys, thank you very much for attending today. I hope that it has been useful to you. Okay, we'll organize other ones as well, and then they will appear here. But remember that these sessions here, that is what I don't like about this application. They are here only for 2 weeks. Okay, but I recorded today's session so it can be available for more than 2 weeks. I recorded in a different way. Okay, let's stop it for now.